Do you need a minute to get off your feet? Moving to the rhythm of the same old beat. Whoa. A slave to the grind till you drop dead. Tangle with the devil living in your head. Do you wanna party with me instead? Whoa. So we're going out tonight to dance under the city lights and live like we'll never die. Whoa. So we're living it up. We're living it up, yeah. We're living it up, yeah.
Hi everybody, welcome to Cruise Shop Save Live. I'm Melissa. Happy Friday. I've got my big glass of wine because it's Friday. And I'm so excited because this week is my special guest is my very good friend and author, Linda. How are you, Linda? Good to see you.
Hey, Melissa, long time no
Cheers.
see. Hey, and you forgot to mention that it's not only Friday, it's also St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, happy
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day, happy St.
And
Paddy's.
it's also the Gold Cup at Cheltenham Racecourse today as well.
Yes, oh, I love the
What's
Cheltenham
going on?
races.
And
Do you ever go? Cheers.
Somebody in the world's drinking large glasses of red wine, so cheers.
Cheers. That lasts me about an hour. Anyways, happy Friday. How are you, my dear?
I'm really good, Melissa, and thank you for inviting me onto your show. Very excited to be here.
Well, I'm just grateful that you said yes, because I know you're an incredibly busy lady. You're a business owner, you've got your own business, but you are also an author of...
I know it's still sinking in. Actually, it's quite surreal, I suppose.
Is it?
Yeah, it's something I always wanted to do. Been planning it for a number of years, but actually never really got around to thinking that hey, I'd actually do it. So yeah.
And it's funny you should say that because I know how much work's gone into this, and it's no mean feat. Like, this is hard work, and everyone always says, "Oh, I'm going to write a book one day." But it's not easy, is it?
No, and I'll tell you something, Melissa. Seriously, when you run your own business and you're trying to write, it's incredibly difficult to fit in. I had very, very good editor, and her name is Rose McKelland, and she's Irish. So,
Happy Paddy's Day, Rose.
I said to her, I really struggle to find time because when I get home from running my business, where it's extreme and a lot of concentration, I'm too tired to write. So what I started to do was to set my alarm at 5:30 in the morning. I know, crazy.
That's
and I would force myself to spend an hour and a half writing. And that's how I did it. And, just when I was walking along in the countryside or by the sea or by the river, something would just pop into my head and I'd just dictate it into my phone and then I would write it down later. So that's how I finally did it. Yeah. But it was hard. It was a hard slog.
Wow. Well, we've got a couple of people watching right now and the audience will start to build. But if anyone's watching, welcome to the Cruise Shop Save Live. This week I'm interviewing my fabulous friend Linda, author of Peep through the Porthole. And so we've got someone saying hello. Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hi. Hello. So let's start at the beginning. That's what I like to do with all my guests. I like to start at the beginning. So when we've got two places to start. Actually, is you worked on cruise ships for 15 years.
I did. Right? I only went on for one contract, Melissa. I only went on for one contract. One contract in the fitness, like yourself.
Yeah, me and you were fitness instructors.
And one contract, which was 8 months, developed into 15 years, and I don't know how it happened or where it's all gone.
I know. Oh, hi guys, how are you? Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Any questions for Linda or myself, please ask.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Keep it clean. Or not. So you started on cruise ships. Can you say the year, please?
Oh my goodness, 1994 or 5. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Mine was 96. So it was back in the day where it was fun.
It was heaps of fun and it was incredible.
It was incredible. Yeah.
I'd gone from being a single mum, having my son at an early age, and sort of seeing him almost ready for university.
Yeah.
And my mum and his dad kind of took over so that I could go out and explore the world. And yeah, I remember my first couple of weeks on board the old New Amsterdam.
Yes.
And I think I joined, it was just after the Mardi Gras, and I joined in New Orleans.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember my very first visit to the OB, Officers Bar.
Officers Bar, yeah. OB.
And they had a Mardi Gras party. And I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I'd always been a bit of a party girl, and I'd been to parties in my life, but this was something else.
It's on a different level, isn't it?
It certainly is on a different level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I was on the Nordam, the old one.
Oh yes, yeah.
I worked on the
I
Nordam.
was in
So
the old
we've got parallel lives, me and you.
Yeah, we really have. Yeah, we really have.
So did you work for Steiner?
I did.
So
Until I got
ain't
fired.
nothing finer.
Until I got fired, yeah, I worked for Steiner.
You got fired? How on earth did you get Steiner? Can you say why you got fired?
Well, oh gosh. You know, I find it difficult working for people. I've always been a better self-managed person.
Yeah.
And I was on board a very small ship, and you know, got to be kind of like gracious here, really, haven't you? But the Steiner manager that came on board, she was from up north.
Up
north, and she absolutely, from the word go, she hated me. And it was a very, very small team because it was a very small ship. And she was really just out to upset me all the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, from hitting on my boyfriend, from setting me ridiculous hours, not allowing me port time to go shoreside, and taking all the best ports herself. So it just went on and on and on. And everybody could see that there was a real, you know, rift between us. But the final straw came when it was my day off. I was in my cabin and I was thinking, oh my God, I can actually have a sleep in. This is wonderful. And the phone rang. And of course, back then you didn't have cell phones or mobiles. No. It was on the wall. So I had to get out of my bunk. I was on the top of the bunk. I had to climb down and answer the phone. And it was the manager. And she said, I want you to come up to the gym immediately. And I want you to move the Reebok steps from A to B. She said, your morning off is now over. And make it snappy. That's how she spoke to me.
Oh my God.
So I can't even remember putting my tracksuit on or my trainers. I can't remember going up in the elevator. I was absolutely
You're so angry.
Screaming.
Yeah.
And I walked through the door of the gym, and she was stood against the wall with her arms folded, looking very smug.
Yeah.
And I remember crossing the gym, and I just put my hand around her throat, and I literally picked her up off the floor. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Okay. And I said to her, that's the last fucking time you ever speak to me like that. Because if you do it again, I'm going to throw you clean over the side of the ship. And believe you me, right now I've got the strength to do it. Within about 15 minutes, she was apparently, I didn't see this, but she was in the office. She was shaking and quivering. And she said, oh, she's on the head office to Steiner. And I can't control Linda, our fitness instructor. She's gone crazy. She's been beyond control. I don't know what to do with her. So I was fired. And I had, it was embarrassing, but quite grand, I suppose, because I was actually escorted off the ship by 2 security guards.
Who you knew?
I remember loads of people were clapping like, yeah. And they took me to Istanbul airport.
Oh, gosh.
And deposited me in this airport, like full of crazy Turks. And it was so crowded. It was so hot. And they just left me there. And I'm like, well, thanks, guys. Thanks for looking after my welfare, you know.
Oh, it was different.
And that was the end of Steiners. That was it. End of
Steiners at the time. Yeah, they weren't.
It was the best.
You obviously went on to work for who? So then, what did you do after that?
Carnival Cruise Lines. I was hired as a social host.
Oh wow!
After a drunken New Year's Eve phone call to the head of the entertainment department at Carnival head offices in Miami. I'd been given this gentleman's card by a an audit Marines manager who came on
Yeah.
board the little ship I was working on, because Carnival was buying the ship.
Yeah.
And he said to me, you should come and join us at Carnival. You'd make a magnificent social host.
Yeah.
So he gave me the card of this man called John Bacafusco, who we called JB.
Yeah.
And I put it in my wallet. I thought nothing more of it. And I was working for a recruitment agency in Gloucester. And I just hated it. They were lovely people. They were lovely.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
really nice.
Grey walls, you know.
Oh, yeah. It's not you.
And so I was staying with a friend in Cheltenham. We'd been out New Year's Eve. We were very drunk. And as I'm trying to get my one leg out of my jeans, I fell over, knocked my handbag over, and this card just fell out of my purse and landed in front of me. So I picked it up and I dialed the number. I was thinking, okay, so it's 2 o'clock in the morning here, but in Miami, they haven't even celebrated yet. It's still before midnight. So I left this message and I said, hey, Mr. JB, my name's Linda. And if you don't hire me as a social host, you're missing out on the best thing that could ever happen for Carnival Cruise Line.
Brilliant.
Down. I forgot all about it because I was so pissed. And I'm at work the following Tuesday in this recruitment office in Gloucester. And the phone rang. It was a mobile phone. It was my mobile phone. The phone rang and I looked and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is a call coming from Miami. So I had to excuse myself and I went into the toilet. And I was sat on the toilet talking to this person in Miami head office of Coral Cruise Line. And this lady says, so can you be with us next Tuesday for an interview as a social host? And I went, of course, no problem. Yes, I'll be there.
Amazing.
And the phone call ended, and thank God I was in the toilet because I just leaned forward and I vomited down the toilet. Oh, what am I doing? And the poor manager, he was absolutely lovely. And I just went straight into his office on a mission. Yeah. Everybody around me could see that something was about to happen.
Yeah.
And I just said, I'm ever so sorry. You're a super company to work for, but I'm leaving you. I'm going back out. I'm going to Miami. And he said, oh, Linda, that's wonderful news. But you do realise that there's a month's notice to work. And I went, no. I'm leaving now. Now. I've got to go back.
I've got to go. Yeah.
and off I went. And when I got to the head office in Miami, and I'm sat around this big, intimidating table.
Yeah.
And there was about 6 other people. I was the only English person. Yeah. 6 other people being interviewed for social host. And in walks this great big man. He looked like Father Christmas, Santa Claus.
Wow.
This was JB. And of course, we had to go around the table and introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
And when it came to me, he looked at me and he went, so how the hell did you slip through the net, Limey? And I said, drunken phone call New Year's Eve. And he just looked and I thought, oh God, how's he going to react? And then he just burst out laughing. Welcome to Carnival. And yeah, 4 days later, I was out on my first ship, which was the Carnival Elation.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. So this is all in the book, right? This is all... All of these stories.
So every chapter is a true story.
Right. Amazing, isn't it? I mean, we did work. I mean, it is still fun working on cruise ships. I mean, I'm in recruitment and it is still a great opportunity for people, but it was something else back in the late 90s.
There's probably more health and safety rules.
Health and safety. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
I mean,
so what would you say is like something that you happened on the ship that you absolutely know couldn't happen now with all the health and safety stuff?
Well, I mean, let's look at some of the parties we used to have.
Well, yeah.
Or maybe not. But I can remember on Holland America, I don't know, we had a crew party maybe once a 6 weeks or maybe once a month, something like that.
Do you remember the uniform that we used to have to wear in the OB? I've just remembered. Did you have to wear like a certain blouse?
No, just always name tags. Always had to have your name
Oh,
tag.
it was name tags, yeah. Oh, that must be just our ship then.
Even if you were at a party, you still had to be name tag.
Yeah.
But I can remember this one party. Different departments would organise the
Yes,
party.
I remember
the
that.
party.
Yeah.
And it was the fire crew on board that were the fire officers were hosting this party that was going to be out on the. Do you remember the back deck? So you go to the lobby.
Yeah.
And you walk through the big doors and you go outside for a fag, wouldn't you? And there'd be
Yeah.
it was a bow, wasn't it? On the bow.
Bow of the ship. The guests were not allowed there. It was crew only.
Not allowed.
A big area.
Yeah, it was a big area, and we had a party out there one night, hosted by the fire officers. And as we stepped out onto that bow through those doors, they would spray us with foamy water, right? And it was pitch black. The whole idea was it was pitch black, and we'd all have these, fluorescent bands.
Oh yeah,
and stuff like that. And the music would be so loud, and it was pumping. But because they sprayed us with all this foam, we were slipping and sliding everywhere. And one minute we're going to a safety training course, which is compulsory.
Yeah.
And we're being told you can't do this, you can't do that. You've got to be careful with this. And the next minute, we're out there and we're falling down on the deck, the ship's moving, and all hell is breaking loose.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely nothing about safety at all.
No.
Plus, they are feeding us, booze until it's
Jello. We used to get Jello shots.
Everything.
We used to do all these shots on BBCs.
0% alcohol limit.
Yeah.
You go
Long
over.
Island iced teas.
And yet they're plying us with all this free booze.
Fantastic. And do you know what? I've just remembered all those parties, and I've been on other ships as well. Basically, that's the mooring deck, isn't it? Literally, it's the mooring deck.
No, I don't think
sure?
so. No, the mooring deck was down below, wasn't it? That's where
we were on the
luggage. That's where all the luggage was coming out and all the
I have been on the mooring deck
that
before.
was off the I-95. That was off the I-95.
I-95, yeah. So that's right. It was at the back. But they don't happen. But yeah, I mean, you're back there, and there's you can see the ropes and the anchor and everything like that. It's all right there, isn't it?
I know, it's nuts. And I've worked on Holland America. I have to say, is my favourite cruise line.
Yes.
Cunard, Norwegian, Carnival, Regent Seven Seas.
Oh, Regent.
Beautiful. Yeah. Other cruise lines. I did a stint on Celebrity and Princess. So it was right across the board. And I think for me, the most difficult part was every single cruise line you worked for. They all had different versions of, drill training and, passenger drills.
Yeah.
And so, on Carnival, it might be muster station, and on another cruise line, it'd be meeting station. And oh my God, I used to get so confused. I didn't have a clue with anybody.
Every week it was embarkation, was boat drill. It was so boring, wasn't it? And you're always knackered, you're standing there going. What's going on?
We were always knackered. We were always hungover. Get it right. Hungover.
Yeah. I mean, it was insane, and it was a different life because there's no way I could do that now. But I can remember going to bed for an hour or two and then getting up onto gangway to give out my maps for the port day and just being really I mean I never did any drugs or anything like that. I was just always drinking, but I did used to do that Rip Fuel. Do you remember Rip Fuel? It was you could buy it from the health food stores in Florida, and I think it had some sort of I don't know, speed in it. But that's the only thing I used to take, and then I'd go out and work all day, come back and crash for a couple of hours, and then do it all over again.
I know. I can actually remember on one Norwegian ship when I was a port cruise consultant, port shopping ambassador. I can actually remember partying so hard the night before a major talk. And you know how we used to have to send the videos into head office.
Oh yeah. You didn't.
I always made it a rule never to party the night
me too.
before a major talk. But
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it all broke loose.
No, I was the same.
Yeah.
That was be the one night I wouldn't go out before the C day, because that's the day you have to do your important shopping talk, and I didn't want to let anybody down. But yeah.
So I had to be on stage at 10 a.m. and I think it was 9:10. The sound tech was calling my cabin. Linda, it's not like you to be late. Where are you? I'm waiting for you. Holy shit! But I'd also bumped into the in our little tiny toilets, the cabinet, the shit had jerked.
Oh,
and
right.
I caught the corner of my eye.
God, you have a black eye.
I had this massive black eye. I was so hungover. It was terrible. And of course, they don't let you drink any water when you're doing a presentation, or they don't like it. How I got through 45 minutes of talking non-stop. You know how fast we used to have to talk.
Yeah. And, I bet it was the best talk you ever gave, and I bet you had the best cruise ever.
Well, I don't know about that, but I remember afterwards, after doing my desk duties, I was able to go to my cabin. I was thinking, oh, hallelujah, I can sleep for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I remember waking up and thinking, did I do that talk this morning?
Was that me? Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I must have, because if I hadn't have done, I would have heard by now. Like the hotel manager would have been on to me, or the cruise director would have been on to me.
You did. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are blank minutes when you thought, did I actually do that?
Did that just happen? Yeah.
Terrible, isn't it?
That's amazing. Yeah. So now let's talk about your book, because what made you want to put it all in this book?
Well, a number of things. First of all, 15 years at sea, being away from my family.
Yeah.
I thought, unless I document this, it's really, to people that haven't been on ships, it's going to be pretty meaningless.
Yeah.
So I thought, I need to get this down to leave some kind of footprint behind me, so that people can at least know what I did for an important stretch of my life. I mean, 15 years is a considerable amount of time.
Yeah.
But predominantly, it was for my mum. Now, my mum had always said to me, "Oh, Linda, you should write a book, mind, Linda, you should write a book." I say, "Oh, don't be so silly, Mum. What am I going to write about? Oh, Linda, you've got so many tales to tell."
Yeah.
Anyway, sadly, Mum was, she passed away 6 years ago. And I actually started the book when I was still with Tom. You remember Tom, my ex-husband, the Dutchie? And I'd say to him, because he knew all along I wanted to write a book, and he was quite encouraging. But anyway, I remember the day before my mum passed away, I was in ICU with her in Gloucester. And we had all sorts of things going on for her. We were playing music, talking about this, that. And she could hear us. And I said, "Mum, I'm going to read you a chapter from my book." So I did.
Oh.
And she held my hand and she said, "Promise me, Linda, promise me faithfully that you will continue to write." She said, "Because you've got a real gift." And I said, "Mum, I promise you I'll write my book." Now, for 3 years after Mum passed away, I went down a very black hole. Life was not good. No. It was a mixture of things. I missed my mum. I think I felt guilty because I'd spent so long away. So it was a combination of things. And I got involved with the wrong sort of person. And life was very bleak for quite a while. But then, and I didn't write at all. But then, and I'm serious now, out of the blue, I heard my mother's voice as clear as day. And she said, "Well, Linda, that book's not going to write itself, is it?"
Wow.
And that was it. That was 2.5 years ago. And I started writing, and I never stopped.
I'm so glad you did. I mean, I got this book. I started reading it, and I've got to say, you're a really good writer. I mean, I'm no expert, but
thank you.
It's easy to read. It flows. And I mean, I know you, but you instantly but you instantly fall in love with you as a person when you start reading the book. You can tell that you're a free-spirited person. I mean, I've got some really great pictures here. Hang on a minute. I'm going to share.
Oh, God.
What is going on here? Is this one of these parties?
That is a Halloween fancy dress party on the Mazdam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I've dressed as a captain there.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of this lovely guy, but he was one of the crew staff, as you can see from the orange shirt and his name tag. Yeah.
Fab.
So that was a real,
Yeah.
drunken
And I
night.
love this. This is
Oh,
Santorini.
Santorini.
Yeah,
I think the
beautiful.
caption I put to that and in my book is something like somebody's got to kiss ass.
Do you know what? When you work on cruise ships, I wanted to show that picture because you do get to visit some amazing places in the world, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the carrot they dangle, you see. That's the carrot they dangle.
Yeah.
Because we had that saying, just one more cruise.
One more cruise.
One more contract.
Go do the world cruise.
And then
Mediterranean, Caribbean.
Well, actually, Linda, we'd like you to do the Southeast Asian cruise. You went, oh, well, we'd like you to sort of do Alaska.
Yeah.
Oh. You know, and that was it. Done deal.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just one more. Just one
more contract. This sums you up 100%. Like, I love this picture.
There's Robin Gale. She was a production singer. And I don't really recognise the other guys, but yeah, that was some night. That was Mazda. Yeah, Mazda.
And this is a fun picture.
Oh,
you look absolutely gorgeous.
You know, those breast implants were way too big. I've had them taken out since. But yeah, no, I'm serious. I mean,
how big were they?
It's all right when you're on the ship and you're on stage, but no.
Yeah. And then this is so sweet. I actually really love this picture.
Yeah.
It's so
gorgeous. That was in, I think that was Hawaii. I know Tom and I hadn't long been married. And although we were working, we were out in Hawaii and we were treating it as our bit of our honeymoon cruise as well.
Oh. So let's just go back a bit because I think we missed the bit where you did actually meet an officer, right, and got married. So tell us.
Didn't we meet a few?
Did. But you married one.
Yes.
I know. So what happened? How did you meet? How did you know?
I was on the MS Holland America Rhindam 2007, 2008, something like that. Mm-hmm. I was going up the stairwell in the crew the guest area. Mm-hmm. He was coming down in, remember those brown khaki engineering. Yeah. He had a colleague with him, and as I walked up and went past him, he looked at me and he went, "Hello," and I thought, "Hello." Weird guy. Yeah. But then gone past, I thought, God, those eyes are amazing. He had the most amazing blue eyes. They were the colour of the Caribbean Sea.
Yeah.
And I didn't see him then for weeks, actually, even though we were on the same ship. I didn't see him for weeks. And then one day, my friend, who was an art auctioneer, female art auctioneer, she said, "Well, you're really bloody boring, because all you do is work and you hardly ever come out anymore." I was Port Shopping Ambassador, so I was taking it really seriously. Yeah. Bill, if you're listening, Bill Panel, I was taking it really seriously. And so she said, "Look, it's formal night. Get dressed up. We'll go out. We'll go to the show, and we'll go for a couple of drinks up in the Crow's Nest."
Oh yeah.
So we arranged to meet in the Ocean Bar, as you do.
Yeah.
I'm all dressed up, and I'm in this red glitzy dress, and I'm feeling like $1 million. And she's late. I'm still at the bar, and she's late. But she's not just a little bit late. She's late.
Probably the taxi didn't arrive.
So Tom is sat down at a table with his colleague, and he came over to me, and he's got his white penguin suit on because it's formal night. Yeah. He said, "Hello. May I buy you a drink?" And I'm like, "Okay." And so he said, "Would you like to come and join us?" And the Dutch sort of sing.
Yeah. It's like this, they sing, isn't it, when they speak? Yeah.
So I went and sat down with him and his friend, and that was it. We were absolutely inseparable from there.
Oh, I love that.
My friend Grace turned up, and she looked $1 million. Like 15 years younger. Yeah. $1 million, long blonde flowing hair, beautiful hair.
Yeah.
And she just looked at him, and she whispered in my ear. She said, "Wow. Well, if you don't want him, I'll have him." And I said, "It hasn't even occurred to me, for goodness sake. The guy's just bought me a drink."
Oh.
Yeah. And it wasn't a whirlwind where we just got married. I mean, we were together for, I think, maybe a good 2.5, 3 years before he proposed to me. And I wasn't expecting it or wanting it, really. I was quite happy as we were. But I said yes. The best part was I bought my dress in Naples.
Yeah, fabulous.
My shoes in Turkey.
Oh, Amazing.
My headpiece in Monaco.
Oh, fab.
It was
love
so pretentious, you know. Oh, and my clutch bag in Taormina, Sicily.
Oh, I love
It
it.
was
Have
so
you still got them?
Part of it, yeah. Yeah, I
That's
wore the
amazing.
wedding dress to a Halloween fancy dress party once as the bride of Dracula.
What else are you going to wear it for?
You know, he's remarried again now, and he's quite happy, and we still
That's
speak to each other.
got a good relationship with him.
Oh, God,
You're speaking about the glamour, and that is one thing that I really do miss about working on a
I
cruise
miss
ship,
it so
because
much.
the
I miss
glamour is off the charts, isn't it? Speaking of glamour, I absolutely love this picture.
Yeah, that's Holland America Amsterdam.
Yeah.
That's a photo shoot I was doing for Diamonds International. You know, they produced this magazine.
Yeah, yeah.
And they would put some of the port and shopping ambassadors in the magazine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
so you're modelling?
I was modelling for Diamonds International there, and I'm wearing a pair of their drop earrings, which would probably be more valuable than my house.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, the glamour was just off the charts. I mean, 2 nights a week was formal, and back then it really was formal. You actually were not permitted into the restaurant unless you were dressed in formal.
I loved it. I loved dressing.
It was amazing. I love it. Yeah, and I love. That's why I love cruising now. Well, I just want to finish off with a really funny. I hope you don't mind. I did actually steal this picture. I just think this is hilarious. It just makes me laugh so much when I look at this picture.
Yeah, this was the cruise that my mum came on in 2008, and that's the Nordam. That's Holland America Nordam.
Yeah,
and we were in Tunis.
Yeah,
and I'd had the camel experience in Egypt.
Yeah,
and I didn't particularly want to have it again. I don't like the damn things. They're always like turning around and trying to bite your leg and hissing at you and spitting, you know?
Yeah. Ooh.
There was a guy, and he was stood outside of the ship on the dock with his camel, and there were a line of these guys with their camels.
Yeah.
And I said, Mum, no, I'm not getting on a camel. I just don't want to. Oh, go and just stand by one, Linda, so I can take a photograph. All right, I'll stand by one, but I'm not getting on it, Mum. So she'd already given the bloke the eye, like, you know?
Yeah.
And no sooner did I stand by the damn thing, he just hoisted me up and lifted me and plonked me on top of this camel, slapped the camel's ass. So this is where he's going up. And Mum caught me beautifully there. Look at the face.
That is hilarious. It makes me laugh so much. I just love that picture.
Yeah, I was horrified.
I love that picture. So what's next for you now? You've published the book. Mm-hmm. It's on Amazon. By the way, everybody, I did put a link on the YouTube feed. And what I'll do is I'll put a link on the Facebook feed when we're off air. Yeah. So this book, A Peep Through the Porthole, it's now available for people to buy, and it really is a fantastic book. I started reading it. I haven't finished it yet, but it's really good.
Can I just say, I've already had really great reviews, and I've had a lot of contact from a lot of colleagues that I worked with on board. And one lady, I don't know if you would know her, Marie Popko. She was events manager on the Nordam and the Westerdam, so I worked with her a couple of times. And she's now living in New York, and she's got a little mention in the book.
Okay.
And she messaged me a few weeks back, and she said, I've read your book, and I really like it. She said, oh, my God, it takes me back to all the things we used to get up to.
Yeah.
She said, my God, you haven't enough tamed it down, haven't you?
You could do an X-rated version as well,
well,
you?
You know, there's my son, and there's the family.
Yeah.
Maybe the grandsons will read it one day. And I said, so, yeah. And she said, we know what really went on. So I thought that was hilarious. That's in Paris.
Oh,
just
I love it.
2 weeks ago with my chap, and that's at the foot of the Eiffel Tower.
Fabulous. You look amazing. I love
Thank
that
you.
outfit. Still glamorous, darling. Still glamorous. Still got it.
Well, you know, I don't know about that, but
no, you do. Amazing.
You know,
it's about, you know, people who've worked on cruise ships are a type of breed, aren't we? Which is sort of we're in a little club. But I think this book would appeal to anybody people who are into cruising or anything like that, it is a really interesting book, and it really does give you some insight into how hard the crew work, but at the same time they do have fun, and they have to, because you've got to release some of that stress.
I think you probably found the same when you came back to land. A lot of people just don't get it, and so you don't bother trying to explain, because
you do a lot in this book.
Yeah, but I think still now I go, I'm misunderstood at times.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. A lot of people, I don't think they just don't get me, and I don't get them.
I know. Well, you know, it wouldn't do if we were all the same. And I think the people that do get you, you know, it's a pleasure to know you. I mean, I've known you for a while, and you are a delight. And I mean, we haven't spoken in a while, but as soon as we came on the video, I was just like, oh, it's the energy. You've got such great energy.
Too much at times.
No,
Yeah.
never too much. No.
Oh, come on. Don't you remember you invited me over, and I came over to your house, and you wanted to introduce me. I was single at the time, and you wanted to introduce me to your husband's brother.
You scared him.
I scared the heck out of him. The poor guy almost ran away, because I was like, "Hi,
hi, Linda's here." We should never dim our lights, though, should we? We should never try and be what we're not.
No,
and we should never let anybody else.
I've got to the stage in my life where now I don't care. You know, I'm happy. I know that I do my best to be kind to people, and that's what life's all about.
Absolutely.
I just get on with it.
I think it's brilliant, and it's to be. And like I said, there's so many people that would love to do what you've done, write a book, and so congratulations. I really want to thank you for your time. You're a hardworking lady. You know, you've got your own business. You run your own business. You've got your son. You've beautiful grandchildren. Here's a lovely picture of your grandson.
Oh, I'm seeing them tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Down to Wales I go. Do you know what?
You're very busy.
The only guys in Wales that don't like rugby.
They like soccer.
No, they're all Man United.
Man U. Oh wow. Okay.
It's all about Man United.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for your time, Linda. We'll have to catch up soon, but this is the book. You can buy it now. It's a great read. It's wonderful, and it's for everybody, for anybody and for everybody. It's very interesting. The link is in there. YouTube. There's going to be another one. Yeah. So watch out.
I've already kind of started it, so yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Well, will you come back and talk to us again?
I'd love to. It's been such fun.
This has been great. Thank you so much for your time, Linda. Thank you, everybody who's watching. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you all again next week. I don't know who my guest is. It'll be a surprise. Always is. But guys, take care. Have a great weekend. Bye. Yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Cheers.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.